Hi, it's Cheryl. Welcome to my channel, Home Ridge Studio. Today's video features my top 15 Christmas DIYs from the past year. So let's waste no time and get right into the video. And here is a bunch of stuff you're going to need, and I believe this is all from the Dollar Tree. So any kind of a pot, you can use a cup, a plastic cup, any kind of a container. I have one of these balls, and that's going to be the head. And this popcorn is the popcorn container. Yeah, that's going to be the hat. The white car cloth, yeah. And then all this other stuff, embellishments, black felt, these pom-poms, some buttons, any kind of embellishments that you want, black beads, bells. These balls here are from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use 3 of them for the nose. Anyway, let's get into it. So we're going to take this material and we're going to hot glue it all around this container. And the container is going to be its body. And so the best way I thought was to take it to the end here and then just hot glue it all around. And just keep pulling that material as you're gluing it all around. And be careful that you don't burn your fingers, because it does kind of go through that material a little bit. Not material, this is a car cloth or a dust cloth. Anyway, these clips are from the Dollar Tree. And this just kind of holds it together while the glue is setting. And then just cut off the excess material and then just keep on pulling that in. There is going to be a crease on both sides, and that's okay because we're going to kind of cover that up. You're not really going to see that at the end. We're all done with that. Now we're going to take the ball. We're going to do the same thing. Cut off the excess material, put the ball in the middle, and then fold all this. I keep calling it material, but you know it's car cloth or a dusting cloth. Anything white will do. If you have extra white material, you can use that. And just keep cutting the excess stuff off because you don't want a bunch in the middle. And then just keep gluing that onto the ball. And it's okay because there's going to be creases on here too. But you're not going to really notice. Actually, you might notice, and my husband said it looks kind of like the snowman has ears. You'll see it later on, though I thought it was kind of cute. Now, these candy canes, they're just plastic candy canes, not the real ones because they'll break. These are from the Dollar Tree. And I am just kind of rolling the extra cloth here around the candy cane, just around the stem, because we're going to do something else to cover the top of it. So hot glue it and then just cut it off and do it 2 times. So here's the 4 pieces, and now we're going to work on the hat. This black felt is from the Dollar Tree. And obviously cut it off and just hot glue it onto the inside. See how I'm folding it in, and I'm using that little spatula there so I don't burn my fingers, and using these little clips. If you can't find the clips from the Dollar Tree, you can use chip clips too. And just kind of fold it like a present. So you fold it down and then over. Oh, I guess I'm folding both of them down first. And then fold it over, kind of like a present. And then turn that end flap in. And then do that to both sides. And make sure the crease, if it's going toward one way, make sure it goes toward the same way. In other words, the crease should be toward, I put it in the back of the hat. So this is just a plate. It's like a salad plate from my cupboard. And I thought that's a perfect size for the rim of the hat. And so this is also felt from the Dollar Tree. See, the felt in the rolls is really thin, and the felt that comes in the the package with the multicolors, those pieces are thicker, and I like the thicker one for the rim so it doesn't flop. So I just traced a circle. You can use anything for, to make that circle. And then I'm trying to get all those little fuzzies off so they don't hot glue into the hat. And then go ahead and glue that together. I put it kind of almost on the inside of the hat because if you've ever seen hot glue on any kind of black material, you can see it and you can't get it off. So that's what I did here, just put it on the inside. So now I'm going to put the 3 pieces together, and that's kind of what it's going to look like. It looks a little sloppy now, but trust me, it's going to look better. So go ahead and hot glue the head onto the body. And kind of hold that for a second. And then I'm just reinforcing it some more. Again, I'm just getting all those little pieces off there so they don't get stuck onto the outside of the hat with glue. And I was pointing the creases, pick where the front of it's going to be. The creases should be in the back. So anyway, we are going to make some mittens for the snowman. And I'm just using this leftover black felt. And I'm just drawing like a little mitten hand. And you're going to want to make 4 of them. So draw one, fold it over, cut it out, and that's 1 full mitten. And then do that again. So you'll have 4 of them. And then we're just going to glue first. I'm right there. I guess I'm trying to figure out if I want the thumbs pointing up or down. So I think they're pointing up. Yeah. So glue the candy cane onto the mitten, and then take the top mitten and then glue that together, if that makes sense. Kind of. You can see. So do that to both sides. And then now I thought they were, I don't know, a little wonky looking. So I'm going to take some of that trim and I'm going to glue it all the way around there. And I put 2 complete circles of trim around there to make it fuller, because one looked just a little bit too sparse. And do that to both. And this is not from the Dollar Tree, but you can get some ribbon from the Dollar Tree. They have some really beautiful stuff. I just had this in my ribbon basket, and I really liked the plaid. I'm sure I got this at either Joann Fabrics or Michael's or Hobby Lobby. And just wait till it goes on sale, and you can get some fabulous ribbon from there. But the Dollar Tree ribbon is fine too. I just wanted a plaid look. And I tied that around, and I kind of pushed that up toward the head so you can't see all of the bunching of the white material. And I glued the scarf onto the ends of the scarf onto the snowman's body, and then I'm just taking that fringe and I'm going to glue it on both of those pieces, the end pieces of the scarf. And now I'm going to take some more of that ribbon and I'm going to put it around his hat. I was determining whether I should put it around the middle or the end, but the end, because then that hides the crease. And there's what he looks like so far. And so these 3 little sparkly ball things from the Dollar Tree, the pack of multicolor is the one that I used, and I just put 1 large, 1 medium, and 1 small to make the nose. And I wanted some sparkly beads for the eyes, but I don't have any sparkly beads, so I just use these wooden beads. They're from the Dollar Tree. And they come in a pack with black, pink, and I think white or something. So I just use the beads for the eyes, but I wish I had the sparkly ones, but I'll have to look somewhere else. And then these small, tiny buttons are from the Dollar Tree also, and I just made a mouth, and then I glued 2 buttons. I don't know what happened to the footage on his body there, some bigger ones. And these holly leaves are from the Dollar Tree. And I just pulled the leaves apart and the berries off, and I'm just gluing them back together like that on his hat. And that's what he looks like. And now we're going to attach the arms. And that lantern there, I just want to make sure it works, and I'm kind of trying to figure out how I'm going to have him hold that little lantern there. And if they don't have these lanterns, they have the cute little wood ones. You could paint that any color you want, like a red would be really pretty. And you can attach that too, but my Dollar Tree has tons of these lanterns. So his thumbs are up, and I put and hot glued them, the arm underneath the scarf. And then I wrapped his hand around the lantern, and then I clipped it to, for the glue to settle up. And then I put some holly leaves on that lantern too. Wood round and a snowman. You could do this with anything, a Santa Claus, any gingerbread man, anything you want. Anyway, some pom-poms and baby wipes and a ruler and a pencil and that gold pen from the Dollar Tree, some embellishments, flowers, whatever you want. And then I'm using Waverly White and Waverly Antique and Waverly Ink, which is black paint. So I just removed the hanger, but I just clipped the end off because we're going to put that hanger right back onto that at the end. And this is the Waverly Antique. So we're going to antique this. And I put a little water in there too. And I did both sides. So while that's drying, we're going to paint our snowman. And this is Waverly White. And mine is kind of dried out thick, but I thought that was good because I got one of these little, I don't know what they're called, like little sponges, and I kind of sponged it on to give it some texture. And I didn't want to get it on the nose or the rim of the hat or anything, so I took a paintbrush and it's an angled paintbrush, and I kind of got up underneath the scarf and the nose. I'm just making some lines because this is kind of a takeoff of the Mackenzie Child. I don't know why. Sometimes I want to say Mackenzie Phillips, and I know that she is actress, but Mackenzie Child, which I love. I love to paint this stuff. It's kind of fun for me. And so I did the hat, and then I did the scarf separate because you don't want them to have like the same angle, just to give it some characteristic, I guess. And then I just took an angle brush, smaller to medium angle brush, and then just start painting every other square. So I started with the black, and then skip a square, and then the black again. And I did all the black first. Then I went in there and I did the white. And it's okay if, and I did the black first because you're going to want to drag some of that black into the white, and you're going to want to drag some of the white into the black, as I'm kind of showing you here. You can see on his hat, that's kind of what they do. It's not like a stark white and a stark black. And this is just any kind of orange acrylic paint will do. This is just like a true orange, and I'm painting his little carrot nose. And now I have this gold pen from the Dollar Tree, and I love this. I mean, it works so awesome. I've had it for a year and it's still great. I just went to the Dollar Tree again the other day and I picked up some different colors because I just think it works so wonderfully. And so I'm just outlining the entire scarf and the entire hat, and each check gets a separate outline. And I don't know why, but I love doing this for some reason. Just love doing this. Okay, so I lost some of the footage because my phone was out of storage, and it just kept shutting off on me, and I just lost it. So anyway, I glued some that chenille yarn down as like fringe on the bottom of the scarf, and then a pom-pom ball for the top of the hat. And I'm putting the hanger in here, and I put 2 buttons. Again, the sparkly beads would be great, but I didn't have them. 2 buttons for the eyes, and that vase filler, I took 2 gold ones out, so it pulled the gold out of the hat and the scarf. And then again, that cloth, I kind of rolled it up and hot glued it together. Just keep on rolling it. And I'm going to put that around the rim of the hat, but I did outline the rim of the hat too, as you can see there. And again, I apologize for losing this footage, but it was crazy. It took me like 3 days to try to figure out how to do all this stuff and how to dump my storage, because you can't just delete it. You got to delete it and then delete it again from your phone storage, which I didn't know that. I don't know. Guess if I were younger, maybe I'd know that. Anyway, so I just went ahead and hot glued that around the perimeter of the hat, and I tucked the end kind of under that pom-pom ball. And this is why I love that spatula, because you can kind of get into little creases and all that, and without burning your finger. And that's from the Dollar Tree too. If you watch my videos, I always talk about that. That's one of my favorite things. I do have the finger protectors, but I always forget to use them. Anyway, and I put, I drew a mouth on them, and I drew some arms, and I put those little styrofoam snowflakes on there, and I had a little flower, and I put it on his hat. And again, I'm sorry I lost all that footage, but this was a super simple craft, fun. It's hanging on my wall. This is what it looks like. And I'll give you a close-up. That flower, I had a package of those. They are from Hobby Lobby. And this is super, super simple, and it just took me days to do it because of my storage. And here's what you're going to need. You're going to need a skin tone color, whatever color you want, felt, and red felt. And a mop head from the Dollar Tree, some stuffing, and some picks and greenery, all from the Dollar Tree, and pit berries. This is a steering wheel cover. You can use anything for the fur of the hat, some bells, and a pen, a pencil, Sharpie. So this is just a plate from my cover. It's a medium plate because this is how big I want his face to be. And just grab your felt in whatever skin tone that you want, and make a circle and put the other felt on top, and then cut it out because you're going to need 2 pieces. Now the Sharpie is going to be on top, and we're going to hot glue them together. And try to hot glue it as close to the edge as you can, because we're really going to need to have this as round as possible. So I'm right on the edge there. And don't glue it all the way around because we are going to turn it inside out and we are going to stuff it. Now this is a small like juice glass from my cupboard and I'm making his nose. Now when it's good and dry, because you don't want to turn it inside out when the hot glue is not dry yet because it'll pull apart. Just turn it inside out and kind of work with it, both the face and the nose, as best as you can to make it as round as possible. And we're going to stuff it kind of loosely, not super full, kind of like a big thick pancake, I guess. Maybe that's a little bit thicker than a pancake, but you know what I mean. And I'm just folding that in itself. I'm folding it down and in and then hot gluing it. Try to keep it, again, as round as possible because this is going to be his nose. So now take the mop head and start from the top of the head and go all the way down, and I think I did about 4 inches past the bottom of the head. And that's how long his beard and his hair is going to be. And I think I cut 24 of these, 12 on each side, but I don't remember exactly. But there's a lot of mop head string here, so if you need more, you can always use more. Determine where the face is going to be. The face is going to be in the middle, going up and down. And we're going to take the mop head and we're going to glue it on the top and just keep gluing it all the way to the very end and overlapping that seam on the side. And we're going to do the same thing to the other side. So the middle of it is going to be his face. And now I'm going to make the hat, and this is the red felt from the Dollar Tree, the felt in the roll. I would probably not use a Dollar Tree felt for this. I had a really hard time because it's super thin and it seemed to want to pull, and it got so thin even with the hot glue it almost like melted into itself. I mean, in the end it turned out fine. But I think a thicker piece would have been perfect. So anyway, same thing, cut out 2 pieces and glue them together. And then now we're going to make a circle in the middle of the hat, because that is going to be a hole. And the best thing to do here, and I'm trying to figure out what to do, how to cut that circle out, you just fold the hat in half by the circle there, and then you can make a cut mark in there. And I just couldn't figure that out. I don't know, now that I'm watching the video I'm like, oh yeah, that would have been easier, but instead I took a kitchen knife. I use a lot of my kitchen stuff here, if you haven't noticed, my plates, my cups, my knives. Anyway, I just pointed to that piece that was pulling apart because it's so thin. This is how I'm going to fix it. I'm going to glue this all around the edge there so you can't really see it. And it's also probably a better idea to stuff the hat very loosely before you glue the circle in the middle. Or actually before you even cut the circle out, because you can pull the stuffing out or push it in and glue around it. That was kind of hard to get that stuffing in there, but I used a long pencil to do it. So now we're going to put the hat on him and determine where the nose is going to be. Kind of in the middle, but not up too high, not down too low, because we're going to put eyes on him. And just go ahead and glue that hat down. And the end doesn't matter because we're going to cover it up so it doesn't have to be straight. Now we're going to take some more of that mop head and we're going to glue it underneath his nose. So when you glue the nose on, only glue the top and the sides. And then make sure that it's all even with the side pieces too. And that's what he looks like. And now we're going to take those strings, there's 4 of them, and we're going to pull them all apart. And that's what it looks like. It takes a while, but not too long. And that is that steering wheel cover from the Dollar Tree. I had it in my stash and I thought I'd use it. It comes in the automotive department. And if they don't have white, you can buy a stocking cap and use that. You can use anything for the fur. You could probably even use like thick, chunky yarn. That might be kind of cool too. Or the stocking cap and then just cut, you know, the fur off. Or you can use a scarf too from the Dollar Tree. They have those white scarves. And then I just hot glued that around. You can see there's a rubber band in that steering wheel cover, and so I was just pulling it out. And now we're going to take a bell and we're going to hot glue it onto the tip of his hat. And then I'm kind of gluing, not all of it, but some of the mop head string down. And now for his eyes. These are the beads from the Dollar Tree. These are the black ones. And just glue them above his nose, wherever you like. And make sure the hole in the bead is pointing sideways. So you're not looking, when you're looking at the Santa, you don't see the hole because it's sideways. And now I took 2 of the mop head strings, little teeny ones, probably about 1 inch long, and I twisted them together and I'm hot gluing them on for his eyebrows. And then that's what he looks like so far, and now we are going to embellish the hat. So those are pit berries from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to kind of twist it up and down and hot glue it. Make sure that it's glued, or excuse me, not glued, that yeah, it's glued, but it's dry. Turn around and do the same thing to the back. And then these are from the Dollar Tree. Comes in a pack of I don't know how many, a ton of them. And I'm just cutting little teeny pieces off and gluing them to the pit berry garland. And then, of course, I'm cutting the sides too, so they're not so thick, not so furry. And then now we're going to put some more of these on his hat. And you can decorate this any way you want. You can put the little snowflakes, they have the vase filler balls, you can put that, you can put a little ornament, stickers, whatever you have. This is just things that I had, little bits and pieces here, and I'm just pulling pieces apart and gluing them on. And that's what he looks like. And this one I bought about 15 years ago from the store, and this is how I got my idea. I wanted to replicate it. So there you go. I saw him at Marshall's, and it's a bearded or a feathered beard. So again, you're going to need something for the face. You're going to need feathers. I got those from Amazon. You're going to need white felt, a stocking cap from the Dollar Tree, any one. It doesn't have to be the red one. That holographic gold glitter is cool. I did not use the ornament. Beads for his eyes, popsicle sticks to reinforce, and a piece of cardboard. And the cardboard is however long you want your Santa to be. That's how long your cardboard should be. So now I'm drawing his beard and the top of his head. And then I'm cutting it out. So kind of like a triangle at the bottom, a long triangle. And then the circle at the top, a half circle. And then we are going to reinforce it. Whether I have a crease in mine, so it was really flimsy, but you're still going to want to reinforce it. And if you wanted to cover it up, you could just take like a felt, like a dark brown felt or something, and cover it up so you can't see through it. So now we're going to take the white felt and determine how long you want that beard to be. And we're going to glue the white felt onto the cardboard. And this is so the feathers have something to adhere to and you can't see the color of the cardboard below. And so now we're going to take whatever skin tone color you like for his face. I'm using this off-white felt. I'm going to do the same exact thing that I did earlier on the previous idea. So just make a circle, put two pieces together, cut it out, and we're going to hot glue it, turn it inside out, stuff it. Now we're going to put the hat on the cardboard and we're going to put the face underneath the hat. And that does not have to be glued, the top, or it doesn't have to be perfect. I did glue it. And now I'm bunching it up in the back. You could cut it if you wanted to, but purposes for this video, I didn't. I just bunched it up and glued it down nice and tight. And then go ahead and glue the face down. And now it's time for the feathers, which again are from Amazon. I think it was like $10 for a bag of like 400 or something like that. I didn't even put a dent in this bag. There's just tons of them. And there's like small ones and bigger ones. And I started with small ones and I just put them, the pointy part of the feather up. So it's pointing up toward his hat. And I just did one row of that all across the bottom of the face. And this takes quite a while. So I don't know, get a cup of coffee, put on some music, relax, watch your TV program, and just have fun and just relax and enjoy doing this. And now what I'm doing is taking the second layer and I put it underneath the first layer. So this is actually sitting on the board and you put it up as close as you can. And then you just keep doing that. Put the third layer underneath the second one and so forth and so on. And of course at the end you're going to want to make it pointy. So one long feather at the end and then kind of, taper it up. And then go ahead and put some on the side because you're going to want to cover all of that cardboard up there. So it's kind of like his beard, his mustache, and maybe sideburns or part of his hair. And then when you're all done doing that, I trimmed the pointy part of the feathers off, the first row that we did on his face. I just took scissors and I just cut just the tip of that off so you can't see it. And this nose is out of screen. I apologize. I thought I was filming it. In the next project, I will show you how to do it. You can see it in the next project. But I just took a knee-high And I cut it in half, and then you cut off the reinforced toe end or the top piece, so you just use half of it. Tie the one end off, put cotton balls, polyfill, whatever you use, roll it into a ball, pop it in there, tie it off on the other end. You can kind of see it a little bit here. And then tie those two long pieces together. And you're going to kind of have to play with that nose a little bit to get it the right shape that you want it to be. And then just go ahead and hot glue it. And now these are beads for the eyes, and go ahead and place the hole sideways so you don't see it on the top. And so far, that's what it looks like. This is that holographic gold glitter, which I believe I got at Walmart, and it's really pretty. And I forgot to tell you earlier, I'm sorry, Mod Podge. This is how we're going to get the glitter to stick. So I just put it wherever I wanted some gold on his beard. Not everywhere, just a little bit here and there, on the ends definitely, in the middle sporadically. And then now we just sprinkle this everywhere the Mod Podge is. And then at the end, I press it down with my hands. Yeah, it's very messy. But that's the way I got it to stay. So, and I did not embellish his hat, and I think it's missing some little extra design, but this is what it looks like. It is really a cool piece. I saw it at Marshall's and it was like $20. But I made it, so, and you can too. So this is what he looks like, and this is the next Santa Claus, and he has glasses, and we're gonna make his beard out of a duster. So this is what you need. Any type of sign. You could actually use cardboard too, but I have a ton of these left over. And some polyfill or stuffing. Any kind of material that's from Walmart, but the Dollar Tree has material too. Or if you have scrap material, that's fine. A knee-high for the nose. A pom-pom for the hat. These are beads. I'm telling you to use the white ones here, but in paint them blue. We're not going to do that because he looks possessed with blue eyes. Thought it would look cool. It does not. Pink for the rosy cheeks, and whatever skin tone that you want. And I used a glass. Don't use a glass, but I used an acrylic paint, and it's called Soft Suede in Deco Art, and Beachcomber beige. And you're going to need some embellishments for the hat, whatever you want. Picks, pine cones, vase filler, and then 2 packages of these dusters. So first we're going to take the board, and we're going to take the material and fold it into a triangle. And determine how big you want his face. How, the width is there obviously, but the length. And the way that we determine that is we put the duster down, and the bottom of the duster, you pull the dusters in half, by the way. I thought I showed you this, and I might in a minute. You put the duster down, the end of the duster comes to the end of the board, and then I just drew a little line there. So that's where that is going to start, and the little line for the top of his, or the bottom of his hat, that's where that's going to start. So the middle of that is going to be the face. So I just took these 2 colors and I mixed them together. So you can make it lighter, you can make it darker. I probably just would not use a gloss paint like I did here, but it worked out fine because I mixed it with a non-gloss. And you can make it white. You could probably even paint it green and maybe do a Grinch. That's an idea. I didn't think about that. That might be something for next year. So you're just going to want to paint the sides. And then here's where I show you how I saw somebody do this, and you put the 2 beads in here, the 2 white ones, and it just didn't work real well for me, and it's probably because the paint didn't dry fast enough and the beads had like a shiny coat of paint on them. So that's how you pull them apart. I'm doing this fast because it's on a twice times 2 speed, but be careful because they're kind of fragile. So you just want to very slowly pull them apart. So now I'm going to butcher this hat all up. Cut off the end, and I end up cutting more off. So basically what you want to do is just ignore all this stuff I'm telling you about the hat. Just cut a big old triangle, and you'll see why in a second. This is now in the screen, yay. So there's that half piece of nylon with the toe cut off, or you can use the other end, just cut off the thick band at the top. If you have any strings, like that red one was in that polyfill there, pull it out because you'll see it through the nylon. And this is the nose. So we tie off one end, we open up the stocking, and we pop that in there, and then you tie off the other end and kind of make it kind of tight, not super tight but not loose either. And then we're going to take those two pieces and we're going to knot it, double knot it actually. And while you're doing this, you're going to kind of want to play with the nose to get it the shape that you want it to be. And you can make this bigger or smaller, it's totally up to you. You could use an ornament for the nose, you could use a large bead. Anything that's round will do. And I make a lot of noses like this for my gnomes. So now that's dry, and we're going to turn around, and I'm thinking to myself, that's a lot of extra material. I don't need all this, and I could use that for something else, I'm sure. So I cut off the end, and then I'm like, that's wasted on the inside. So I cut that off too. Kind of a lot of extra steps unnecessarily, but that's okay. And now just go ahead and hot glue that down. Not super tight, a little loose, because we're going to stuff the front of his hat. And there's that pillow stuffing. And I'm just putting just a little bit down there just to give it some depth. And then on the sides, I'm putting it on the corners so we don't see those sharp corners through his hat. So it just looks like it kind of tapers up and not is squared off. And then I'm just pulling that in. If you don't want to see that, you can put a big piece of like black felt behind there, the whole length of that, or you can glue some extra material on there. This is the scarf from the Dollar Tree, the infinity scarf, and I left this in to show you just how messy it is when you cut it. It is messy. These things fly everywhere. And if you're wearing a black shirt or a dark colored shirt, like I have a dark blue one on here, it's gonna stick on that. It's a mess, but it's kind of cool for $1.25. Anyway, just go ahead and glue that on. I did not glue it in half because I didn't want more fuzzies everywhere. I'm just cleaning off all that fuzz on the end of my glue gun so it doesn't burn on. And then go ahead and clamp it down so it stays, and then I glue the front of it. And now for the beard. So you're going to want to start in the middle. And then glue on the side pieces. And that kind of laps over a little bit on both sides. And that hole in the middle there, you're not really going to see it. We're going to take care of that in a second. So you can just kind of fold that in on itself. So the other piece, the fourth piece, we're going to cut it in half. And these are going to be kind of like, you know, his hair.
sideburns, hair, the whole thing. And now we're going to take the other piece and we're going to cut that in half, and that is going to be the mustache. And you can point it up or down, whichever you prefer. And then we're going to pop his nose in there, right on top of that fur. And the pom-pom for the hat. And I don't know why I'm decorating this before I put the eyes on. Oh, that's because the paint, I think the paint did not dry. I was having a hard time with that. And this is a pick from the Dollar Tree, the holly and the berries here. Nothing special about it, nothing sparkly. But we're going to take care of that in a second. And these are just little pieces from different picks, and there's pine cone and some greenery in there. And this is white chalk paint. So now you don't have to do this. This is optional, but I'm just kind of lightly touching the pine cone, the berries, and the leaves to make it look like it's kind of frosty, snowy. And I didn't show you this earlier. I'm sorry. In the supplies. And this is Mod Podge. And we are going to just paint that on because we're going to put the Dollar Tree snow. We're going to sprinkle a little bit on that just to make it look a little snowy, a little frosty. And now this is optional, and this is additional thing that I came to the last minute. I'm going to make glasses for him. He looked like he needed something, and his eyes were blue, and he really looked possessed, so I colored them in with a Sharpie after they finally dried. So take that bottle and you take the floral wire. They're both from the Dollar Tree, and you wrap it around 4 times. Then you pull it apart and you have 2 circles like that. And then I put the floral wire through the top of the glasses 2 times. And be careful because it's really bendy. And you're going to have to kind of play with them a little bit to make them as round as you can. And I bent the little piece in the middle up like glasses, and then I put this the sides kind of in his fur, and then I glued it, and this is what he looks like. And you can't see the glasses on here, I'm so sorry. And this is a snowflake picture frame, and here's all the stuff you're gonna need. First, a cup of coffee or tea or whatever you like, and a Christmas snowflake or a snowflake, 3 picture frames, any kind of word. I'm using that blessed ornament sign, some glitter of your choice. You can get it at Walmart. That stuff I got at Walmart, it's really nice. Or snowflakes and white chalk paint. And you can also get glitter from the Dollar Tree. I removed the top piece, and I didn't put wood glue in the top there, and I should have. So it's all painted, and I only put 1 coat on, and I painted both sides because you're going to see both sides. And now I'm just going to Mod Podge in these various locations here. Not the whole thing, just the tips, so we can put, I used this snow, I didn't use the glitter, but you can use whatever you want. You can use colored glitter or iridescent, silver gold, whatever works for you, whatever color picture frames. I know the Dollar Tree has some really pretty gold frames, so this would be pretty with gold glitter on it and maybe those gold frames. These are a 4x6 frame, and just remove the back pieces off of it and position it so that the snowflake is just touching the outside of the frame. I'm showing you here that I'm hot gluing it, and hot glue does not work. So you're going to want to do some kind of a super glue or Gorilla Glue E6000, something like that, and let it sit overnight. I just took a word and put blessed. You can put family on there or whatever. And I really struggled with this ornament. It is just totaled. I just tore it all apart. Never to be used again. And then I have those little snowflakes from the Dollar Tree, those little wood ones. And I just painted them white and dipped them in the glitter. And there you have it. You can put the hanger back in and hang it on the wall, or you can put it kind of standing up against something. That's a thrifted picture frame. Let me try that again. It's a thrifted picture frame, and I paid $1 for it. And I just took this really beautiful piece of scrap paper, and it's either from Michael's or Hobby Lobby. I think from Michael's, but any picture that you like will do. Cut it, pop it in the frame. You can use ribbon, you can use an ornament, you can use greenery to put on top. I just pull the greenery off this ornament that says peace on it. And I have all this ribbon that I found at Marshall's or TJ Maxx, and it's a beautiful ribbon. It was not cheap. I think it was like $10 for the whole thing, maybe $8, but it was some really unique, pretty ribbon, so I picked it up. I splurged, but the Dollar Tree has a really pretty ribbon too. And I'm just dovetailing the ends here. And then hot glue that on, and here's another piece of ribbon that I'm just going to cut out the words peace. And I'm going to glue that in the middle. And I'm going to stick some greenery in there and a couple of pine cones. And this is what it looks like. A lighted box. So these are from the Dollar Tree, and of course they have other frames, and you can make these bigger too. They would look really cool bigger. We need some snowflakes and some bells and some glitter and paint, Mod Podge. This is floral wire and some fairy lights. And I say fairy lights and not the black lights with the black cord, I should say. The white lights with the black cord, because you'll be able to see the cord. So anyway, just I took some white chalk paint and I had to water mine down because mine is kind of dried out. And I'm painting these snowflakes, and I'm only painting them on one side because you're not going to see them on the other side. And I believe I give it 1 coat, maybe 2. It doesn't matter really, because we're going to be dipping it into that iridescent glitter. And I have these 4 picture frames, and I'm taking everything out of it. And be careful, because that glass is really thin. And be careful taking these little pieces out too. You want to kind of hold that frame down while you pull them out so it doesn't crack the frame. And take the glass out as soon as you can too, so it doesn't break. Clean it up pretty good and hot glue it back in. Do that to all 4. And now I'm going to glue those snowflakes together. So make sure that the hole on the top of the snowflake is glued up precisely with the other hole on the top of the snowflake. I glued those little snowflakes in the center. And then I rubbed on Mod Podge and then sprinkled it with some glitter, a good amount of glitter. And now we're going to glue the frames together. So see how the frame is on the inside? you're going to want to make them exactly the same. So the frame on the left is on the outside, the frame on the right is also on the outside. So it's completely square. And these are some glitter from the Dollar Tree. You can put pearls, you can put jewels, you can put whatever you want. I just put a little, it's like a little glittery star that came in a pack of gold and silver glitter. And I'm just gluing one on both sides. And that was a bell, and I glued a bell on both sides. And that's floral wire. And I got that at Joann Fabrics at the end of the season last year. It was like $2 or something. I just like the color of it. And I was going to wire it from one side to the other, but the wire wouldn't hold with the hot glue. And so I have this really pretty ribbon that I found from Marshall's, yeah. And it's actually white and it's outlined in silver. It's really pretty. So I just glued that across the top in a crisscross section. So I'll show you right here. I don't know what I'm doing there. I guess I went off screen for a minute, but anyway, I'm trying to figure out how to get this to hang. And so I put the other one on top and I glued it, and I put the ornament on first. And I did it crooked here, but I had to go back and fix it. And these balls that I'm gluing on, they're the white iridescent vase filler from the Dollar Tree, but I swapped them out actually for silver ones because I thought it would look prettier, and it does. And in the middle there, I took actually one of those vase filler snowflakes, a silver one, and I glued it on top of the middle there. And that's kind of what it looks like, but I'm not finished with this and I lost the footage. So I'm extending this to tell you what I did with it. So you can see the snowflake on top in the middle and the 4 silver balls. I put a piece of felt on the bottom and I hot glued it. And then I took the fairy lights, and not the ones with the black cording, but the fairy lights with the real thin like silver or gold cording, and I taped them to the bottom of that felt. Then I took the silver glitter, and it's more chunky silver glitter, and I sprinkled it on the inside, and the silver balls vase filler, I put that in the middle, and it's actually prettier than what this picture looks. But on to the next project, and this is a hanging burlap bag. And I got these, they were $4 a piece. They're literally present bags, and they're from Dollar General. And I am going to use that Santa Claus one. And that ribbon is from Michael's, and it's just a bunch of different ribbon pieces that are all together for like $8 or something. And these wood pieces here are from the Dollar Tree, and we're going to stain them with the Waverly Antique stain. So I just brushed it on generously, and then I took a baby wipe and I'm wiping it off, and I'm doing that on both sides and on the top and the bottom. And by the way, I did sand them down, any rough areas, before I did all this. So now do that to both pieces, and now I'm just simply hot gluing the wood piece onto the top of the Santa bag. And now we're going to hot glue this piece, the other piece, onto the bottom of the bag. And by the way, I probably should have ironed this before I glued this all together. And I'm still going to try to iron it, but it's very wrinkly from the creases from it being folded up. So just cut off the excess top And then this I got for $3.99 again at Marshall's or TJ Maxx. And this is snowflake ribbon. I thought it was so beautiful. And yeah, I splurged a little bit on ribbon because they had beautiful ribbon this year, and I just couldn't help myself. I have a ton of ribbon, but no, I had to go get more. But I think this snowflake ribbon just like totally makes this sign or this wall hanging. And I glued it down with hot glue, and it was like every other snowflake with just a dab of hot glue, and that's kind of what it looks like. And so the back is open because it's a bag, and I have this sheer ribbon. I don't know where I got it from. I think this was actually from the Dollar Tree, but I thought it was really pretty, and so I opened the bag and stuck the ribbon down in there, hot glued it, and then pinched the bag together and glued it like that. And I did that to both sides. And then when you're done, just put some hot glue in the top of it to close the bag up. This was super simple and very quick and very inexpensive. And this is what it looks like hanging on my wall. This is the next project. This is a window, kind of like a window frame that you're looking out into the city. And here's all the things you're going to need. A bag of your choice. They have all kinds of different bags. I thought the snowman one would be really cool. Like you're looking outside and you're not snowman, I'm sorry, Santa Claus. Like you're looking outside and you're seeing Santa's sleigh. So you need 4 frames. So if you get these frames, they are one color, and if you get the ones that are drawn on the canvas from the Dollar Tree, they're a different color. I made the mistake and I had to go back. So get 4 of the same frames, and then 2 of those pieces from the Dollar Tree, and they should be the same color, and some Waverly Antique if you're going to stain it, or white chalk paint. If not, you can use for the curtains. I have this scarf from the Dollar Tree. Any scarf will do, and of course I got that bunch of ribbon again. So this is almost like an MDF kind of a frame, and it's not wood like the other canvases that are plain. But I thought this was kind of different, and you can't really stain this. So I'm going to paint this with white chalk paint. And this was really difficult to get these pieces off there, so you kind of really got to tear them. And I botched it up over there, so make sure you put it on the end because it's going to be hidden by the curtain. And so now I have 4 of them, and I'm just chalk painting it, and I'm going to make it kind of look like a farmhouse, an old farmhouse look where maybe the paint is rubbed off in a bunch of areas. And it takes a generous amount of paint. I only put 1 coat on, and I painted all sides, not the back, but the inside, the outside, and around the top of the frame. And you do that to all 4 of them. And now you take the bag, and I probably should have put matte Mod Podge on it because it's super shiny. And just cut the top part of the bag out. The sides are a little rough or uneven. It doesn't matter because we're going to put the curtains around it to hide it. So I did some E6000 on these frames, and I also hot glued them together. And you don't have to paint the side if you know which way you're putting it together. So if they're going to be glued together on the inside, then you don't have to paint that. I hope you understand that. You know what I mean, because you won't see that. And then I couldn't find my little clamps were too small from the Dollar Tree, and they have bigger ones, and I couldn't find them. So I just zip tied that together to hold it. And then I reinforced it again with some more hot glue. Don't hot glue the zip ties or they might be permanent on there. And here's those pieces from the Dollar Tree. You can get them almost any season. I just had these left over from fall time. And you're going to want to hot glue them, and this is going to kind of be a shelf. Hot glue them together in E6000, reinforce it, and that's what it looks like. And now we're going to put this on the frame, and I want to make sure that it's centered, but also you can see that Santa Claus, kind of like you're looking through the window. You're up on top of a high building. Inside, you're looking out the window, and there's Santa's sleigh. So to make sure that I got it the way I wanted it, I just taped it in the picture. And then turn it around and make sure it was the way it was. Or it looked right, I mean, not the way it was. I'm getting a little ahead of here myself. And this is a scarf. It was probably not the best one to choose, but I don't know. It just kind of reminded me of like Christmas curtains. Maybe. I don't know. I don't put Christmas curtains up in my house. I might hang a wreath from them, but I don't put curtains up there. But I thought this was, I don't know, just different. And it doesn't match the picture at all, but that was done purposely. So you're going to just hot glue a strip on the top there. And then you're going to make 2 panels for the sides. And the edges are rough from me cutting them, so I'm just folding up the edge and then hot gluing it. And I do that to both sides and to both panels. And then make sure that you measure it so both sides come down to hit the bottom of the frame. And this was really hard to keep in my camera view here because it was so big. And those are the large canvas frames too. You can use any size you want. And so now I'm just going to glue these panels down underneath the top one, or underneath, you would probably call it a valance if it were a window treatment. And I do this to both sides. And so I'm going to turn this around and I'm going to pull that material tight and glue it onto the frame in the back, on the top and on both sides. So there's an owl over there, and I wanted to try to see the owl. You can't see it from here, but it was too close to the side, so I wasn't able to do it. But I definitely wanted to see Santa Claus. So I pulled that panel over as far over as I could, and then glued it up there so it stays so you can see most of the sleigh. And then I'm just going to tie a little, I don't know, piece of ribbon. I got this, it was from that big pack that I've showed you a couple times, around the sides, just like you're tying the curtain back. And I just glued it underneath on both sides, and I did it to both sides. You can put a bow there, you can use any kind of ribbon, and then I'm doing it to both sides, I guess. Got a little ahead of myself again with that bag. I'll show you that in a second. This is just the evergreen pieces, the single pieces from the Dollar Tree. You get a big pack of them. And I just made 2 of them into a circle. And I was going to hot glue it to the top of the frame, and I thought the middle of the frame was probably better. So glue both of them together just to make it look fuller. And then that bag had those little, what do you call it, like red balls in there. And I glued those on, and I glued a little ribbon on top, a little bow on top. And then there were the little holes from the bag up there that I took a Sharpie and I filled those in so you couldn't see them. And then now we are going to glue just a piece of this, what do you call it, felt. that you get from the Dollar Tree also on the top to hide that harvest, the harvest words. And that's what it looks like. I'm trying to get that little hangers from the Dollar Tree. These stencils are for Michael's. They were $3.99. I believe I got them for 50% off. I'm taking some white chalk paint, and I have these little dabbers from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just took the snowman stencil. There's a bunch of different ones in there. And stenciled them onto that. And then I'm making some snowflake buttons, and then I'm putting snowflakes and kind of like snow around him, kind of like he's in the middle of a snowstorm. And you can get colorful with this if you want. You can make his nose orange and color the buttons in different colors, and you know, whatever is to your liking. You can hang this up on the wall in a little space. You can hang this up on the tree if you like big ornaments. I just thought it was simple and cute, and that's it. Whew. And this is a lighted Santa ring. I don't really know what you call it, and this is what you're going to need. This is a car cloth from the Dollar Tree, and you're going to need one of these, and a sleigh that's an ornament. So far, everything is from the Dollar Tree. Those are presents. I just took them apart and put them in a baggie. And a Santa Claus, a wooden Santa Claus. And this is tube confetti. We're going to need the red, or you can use red glitter. 3 of these lighted reindeer. A Merry Christmas sign. And some glitter vase filler. We're going to use the gold. And this is also from the Dollar Tree. We're going to use the large hoop. And you're going to need some Mod Podge, and also you're going to need some red paint and some white paint. And this is holographic gold glitter, and it's so cool. I love it. We are going to paint these reindeer, and this is a red chalk paint. I don't know what it's called, but it's not Waverly. I think it's from Hobby Lobby. And I'm painting these reindeer all over, the front, the back, the inside, everything, because we're going to put glitter on top of them after we're done painting them, and I don't want to see the wood through. So we got to paint the whole thing. And now we're going to put Mod Podge on this sleigh so we can paint that also, and the paint will stick on it. And the whole sleigh gets painted with Mod Podge, including the, I don't know what you call them, runners. I think they are. And this is white, and it's chalk paint, and we're going to paint Santa white. But we're going to put glitter on him too, but we don't want to see the wood through it. That's why I'm painting all these. And now we're going to take that car cloth, and we're going to kind of measure it out. Now, if you can't find one of these pieces, you can use a wood block. Anything will do, as long as it's, you know, narrow, thin and narrow. And I've just cut out that car cloth to fit this piece, and I'm gluing it inside. I'm just putting some hot glue in there and clipping it off until it dries on both sides. And now we're going to put the circle ring on it. And I'm measuring it to find out where the middle is, and then I'm just going to cut like a little slit in the middle, because I think it'll adhere to the cardboard underneath it better than if you just try to glue it on top. Plus it has like a little area that kind of, it'll sink and rest into that. And put a good amount of hot glue on that. And then as you can see, I'm kind of pushing that in and covering it, and that's got to hold for quite a while. I had to lean it up against something so it would stay. And now that the Mod Podge is dry on the slate, I'm going to paint the whole entire thing red. And let that dry. And now I'm cutting just a very small piece of that leftover car cloth out to hide and to put on top of the ring and to hide it, and it will give it more stability too. So a generous amount of hot glue on both sides, and then I just take my little spatula, my handy dandy spatula from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just kind of pushing that in underneath the ring. Lots of hot glue on that, and it holds pretty well too. I wasn't sure, but it did. It holds well. I mean, you don't want to pull it from the top, you know, when you're moving it, but it works. Or you could probably put E6000 on it, but I didn't do it. So now I'm putting Mod Podge just on the front of all 3 of those reindeer. And now I take the tube confetti and I'm putting it on wax paper, and then I just kind of push the reindeer into the tube confetti, and then wherever there's holes, just sprinkle some more of that on there. And do it to all 3 of them, and then let that dry. Now we have that holographic gold glitter, and I think I got that from Walmart, by the way. And I'm putting Mod Podge on the Santa. And I have those 3 presents. You can see the present at the bottom there by the reindeer. I painted those 3 white too, and I guess maybe I didn't film it or I cut it out. Anyway, Mod Podge on the Santa and on the 3 presents, and then put that gold holographic glitter, and then let those all dry. And here I'm just pressing it in to the glitter that's all over the wax paper. I like to use wax paper because you can crumble it up and throw it away. Plus nothing sticks to it. Okay, so now we're going to arrange our pieces. And before I glue them, I kind of arrange them and eyeball it to see where I want them placed. I hot glued these reindeer down 2 times just to make sure that they don't move. So every piece of the reindeer that touches the hoop, hot glue that to the ring, or hoop or ring or whatever. So this is the base filler, and there are 3 different sizes. There's small, medium, and large. And I'm just taking various sizes and just gluing them around the ring. And some places there's 1, some places there's 2, some places I put 3 in all different shapes. And then I have that Merry Christmas sign, and I just put Mod Podge on it, and I put the gold holographic glitter on that and hot glued that to the top. And this is what it looks like when it's all lit up. Time, and it's a Santa Claus wreath, and this is what you're going to need. So you can take a wreath from the thrift store and pull off all the pieces of flowers. I got this for a couple bucks at my local thrift store. I like the wreath, but instead I decided that I was going to use that wreath form from the Dollar Tree. This Santa Claus was from Michael's, and I think it was like $16.99, but I got it 60% off. You can make a Santa Claus. In my previous video, I'll show you how to make the face. Anyway, or you can buy it. So you'll need a bunch of those flowers, those wooden flowers. You'll need some red paint, pine cones, and then some greenery picks to fluff out the top of it. And I believe the picks are probably from Hobby Lobby or maybe Michael's, but I know you can get some from the Dollar Tree. They're just not as full. Now you can paint these wood flowers, but it would take a long time to get into all the creases, so I'm putting a generous amount of paint in a baggie of this red paint. And then I throw about 5 or 6 of the flowers in there, and it's like shake and bake. Just shake it up and then put it on a piece of wax paper. I put it in a box so I can move them, and then just let them dry, and I let them dry overnight. So now this wreath form is from the Dollar Tree, and you can use any wreath form. You can even use a wire one. I would just cover it in like burlap or something, so the roses, the wood roses, have something to adhere to. Anyway, the Santa Claus had a clip on the back of it, so that was easy for me to clip onto the wreath form. And here I'm just putting my picks, my greenery picks, 2 to each side. I probably could have used 3 of them on each side, but that's all I had, was 4 total. And so do that to both sides. And then flip it over when you got it how you like it. And I'm going to use some zip ties, but you can use floral wire, or you can use the chenille sticks, or pipe cleaners as we used to call them. And I zip tied it on both sides 2 times, one at the top and one at the bottom. Just a few of the leaves or the stems I zip tied, not all of them, so you don't see them. And so you can decorate it any way you want. I have some white paint that I'm gonna touch the roses up with. You can use bells. I have these little pieces of these little balls that fall off the picks, and I just put them in a baggie, and they come in handy. So now, after you have the pieces that you want to enhance your Santa with, I'm gluing these wooden roses onto the bottom first, and snug right up next to each other. And I apologize for this video. I don't know why it keeps blinking light and dark. I have no idea why that was happening. I was filming this on my phone. It looks like we're having a power outage, or a brownout, but we weren't. So I hope that this doesn't happen again. But I do have a camera now, so I'm going to start using that hopefully soon. Anyway, enough said about that. I put the roses up on the bottom, and then the roses up on the top, and then sporadically wherever there was a hole I would just plop a rose in there or hot glue it in there. And now I'm painting with this white chalk paint the edges of the flowers, just kind of dry brushing them a little bit. Now you can use bells if you want, or you can use pit berries, but I am actually going to use pine cones, and I'm going to use my loose berries here that I've collected over the last couple years. And I'm just going to sporadically glue them onto the picks. And that's it. He's big, so he's hard to keep in the screen, but that's what he looks like. And here was my inspiration I saw at Home Goods, and I don't remember how much it was, but it was a lot of money. And so this is my version of it, and I'm pretty happy with it. Okay, here's what you need, and this is going to be the Grinch gnome. You'll need a red sock, and I've already showed you how to stuff it and fill it, so I've already done that. You'll need some green paint. Doesn't need to be chalk paint, just darker green paint, and a wooden bead for the nose. Or you can use a pom-pom, a green pom-pom. I have that fur, You can also use any kind of fur, from a stocking cap or whatever, some brown felt, some red felt. This I got from Amazon. It's a huge piece of green fur. I think it was like $20 or something. It was not cheap, but I've used it a lot. Some twigs from outside that can be like antlers for the Grinch's dog. I don't remember his name. If you remember, let me know. Leave it in the comments. Anyway, these green socks, all this stuff is from the Dollar Tree except the fur. The hat and the wood beads, you can get them from the Dollar Tree. I like the darker wood bead, and that will be for the dog's, like, part of his nose. Anyway, so there's that sparkly pom-pom you can use for the nose, which would be perfectly fine too. So we're going to just glue the beard on, and I showed you earlier on the previous video how to cut that out. You cut the top layer, and now we're going to doctor up the Santa Claus hat. And so I kind of measured it, and I realized that it will fit perfectly if I cut it from both seams. So I turned it inside out so I could see the seams better, and I cut it alongside both seams. And then when you wrap it around the gnome, it fits perfectly. And that's what I'm doing right now. And then I'm going to kind of push these together. You can get away with this furry type material because you can't see it. So it takes a few times of gluing it together, but it works, and you really can't see the seam all that well. And one seam, I think in the back, is fine. And so here I'm just pinching it together and putting more hot glue in there, pushing it together so you don't see the seams. And then I take these clamps from the Dollar Tree, and I hold them together, clip them together. And I did that going all the way up, not just all the way up the white fur, but all the way up to the top of his cap. And now I made the arms, and I showed you previously how to do that. You just fold them in half, kind of roll them up, glue them. And I took a strip of that, a very tiny strip of that green faux fur. Then I rolled it up, and I glued it, and I kind of stuffed it right into that arm there. And do that for both hands. And now the other fur was too wide, so I just took the remainder of the fur off this cap, and I'm going to put the fur around the cuff of the arm. And I'm going to do that for both of them. And I hot glue it right at the seam on the arm, so the seam is all in the same area. So the seam of the cuff and the seam of the arm is all perfectly in alignment, because the seam, when you glue the arms onto the gnome, you're going to glue the seam to the body so you can't see it. And you'll see in a minute. So I did that to both of them, and this time I did not glue the cap down. So you take those arms and you glue them up underneath the cap. And now it's time for the nose. And I painted that green earlier. I let it dry. And then I glued it on. And then I realized it just didn't look right. It needed some sparkle. So I took some Mod Podge. And I painted that Mod Podge on to the nose very carefully, not getting any on the fur. And now I have some green glitter from the Dollar Tree, and he's just going to sniff the glitter. So that's the only way I could think about it without getting glitter all over his beard. I know it looked kind of weird, and I kind of was laughing about it, but anyway. So now we're going to take that sock and we stuff it with some polyfill cotton, whatever you have, tissue. Take some of this brown felt, because this is going to be the head of the dog. I still can't remember that dog's name. Anyway, and then I just put the polyfill in there and squished the material around it to make like a ball. And then I took a rubber band and tied it off really well. You're not going to see the rubber band because we're going to glue it inside of the stocking cap, or the stocking, not stocking cap. And then I put some glue in there too so it doesn't come apart. And then I let that dry pretty well. And then I glued the dog's head in there, only around the head, not on the side, because we're going to put a little present in there. And there's that bead onto his nose, and there's that stick from outside, and I just clipped it off to make it look like kind of like fake antlers, just like in the Grinch, how they took some twigs and kind of tied them to his head. That's kind of what it looks like. A little cheesy. Max, that's the dog's name. Okay, so now I put some eyes and a little dot on for his nose, and now I'm going to make a heart. You can use a wood heart if you have one from Valentine's Day. I didn't want to dig out my stash because it's buried away right now. Any kind of heart, or you can draw one. And I just hot glued that to his hat. And now I'm just going to glue a present in there. You can glue a candy cane, a present, whatever you have in your stash, go ahead and use that. I just thought it looked a little bare just with that dog in there. He's just one of those like wooden snowflake gnomes. And I saw this on Pinterest and I thought it was really cute and I had to do it myself, and now I'm going to show you how to do it. So I'm drawing kind of like a circle around here because I'm going to clip off those little like pointy snowflake pieces. Not the big ones, but the little ones. It was kind of hard to get in there to clip them off. And then after you're done, you're going to want to take a, what do you call it? A sander and sand that so it's not so sharp. And then I just took a little piece of the faux fur, made a little rectangle, glued that on, and take whatever color you like. I decided to use this light blue, and later on I bring in a dark blue and the gray felt, and this is going to look like arms, like he's wearing a sweater. So I just clipped a little teeny piece and then glued it on both sides. So that there looks like his arms. And then now I'm going to use the gray for his pants. It's hard to see in this video, but there are the gray pieces on there. And I'm just taking a Sharpie and making it look like a sweater with putting some like little ticking in there, some lines. And I'm trying to determine the color of his hat, so I took this, and the Dollar Tree has these in like a pack of multicolors. It's really nice because it's kind of a stiffer felt. So I cut a triangle, and then I folded the end up so it's like the rim of a hat. And then I folded both of those sides around, and then I glued it in the back. And don't glue that little hole on the top because this is going to be an ornament. And then one of those little pom-poms glued on top of that. And super simple, super easy. Cute little ornament, I think. You can put a magnet on them again, or you can put some jute twine up through the hole on the top there and turn him into an ornament. And you can make these any different colors, or there's different wooden snowflakes that you can use. Oh, and I forgot his nose. Last but not least, a little teeny tiny wood bead for the nose. And you could use a pom-pom too if you don't have one of those. Oh, and then I'm drawing some, I guess I missed, there's so many gnomes in this video. My next video I'm going to have 3 or 4 more too. So I'm just drawing kind of like little lines, and you'll see it up close. And that's it. And there I'm showing you how you can put the jute twine in there. And that's what it looks like on my tree. And that's all for now. I hope you enjoyed this compilation, and if you're a subscriber, thank you again from the bottom of my heart. If you are not a subscriber, consider subscribing. And if you all could hit that like button, it really helps me out a lot. And I will see you very soon. Have a blessed day, a blessed week. Bye.